Vanessa, thanks for coming. You're not staying though. Are you though? You're welcome to. We're good. Yeah. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our council meeting, July 8th, in the year 2025. And it's good to see everybody as we begin our, I wouldn't say our summer holidays, but we're kind of easing back into a summer-like schedule. City Days is coming, folks, and let's hope for a great summer of activity here in Mount Pearl. Council, before you see the agenda, and I'll look for a motion to adopt that. Moved by Councillor Antle and second by Councillor Rice. All in favor? And those opposed? And that motion is carried. And in recognition of the City of Mount Pearl's commitment to foster respectful and collaborative relationships with Indigenous peoples in the City of Mount Pearl and beyond, we hereby acknowledge that the land on which we gather is the ancestral and unceded territory of the Beothuk and the Mi'kmaq. Mount Pearl and the broader metro region continue to be home to diverse Indigenous peoples, including First Nations, Inuit, and Métis. Minutes for June 24th. Is there any errors or omissions, Council? Hearing none, I'm going to call for a motion to adopt the minutes moved by the Deputy Mayor and seconded by Councillor Locke. All in favor? Those opposed? And those minutes have been adopted. Thank you. Any business arising, please quote the item number. Moving right along. No proclamations, I don't think, tonight. Staring down the Corporate Services and Public Works Committee report. Taking the lead tonight is Councillor Rice. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Worship. Our first one in our Corporate Services and Public Works one is our invoices for approval. So the committee recommends that the following invoices totaling $213,732.22 be approved for payment. You can see all those there in your kit, and I so move.
It is moved by Councillor Rice, and thank you, seconded by the Deputy Mayor. Any questions? I'll call the motion. All in favor? Contrary-minded? That's carried. Thanks.
Thank you. Next one is our payment register. This is for information purposes only of council. The following payment register report for June the 19th until July the 3rd, 2025, totaling $1,867,950.60. And you can see all those there in your kit. It's just for information purposes only. If there's no questions, I'll go right on to number 3. So this one is a notice of motion. So we have the background information. On May the 13th, 2025, Council approved a hybrid voting approach for the upcoming election on October the 2nd, 2025, which will allow for in-person voting at advanced and ordinary polls, as well as vote by mail. Pursuant to Section 54-3 of the Municipal Elections Act, SNL 2001 MCM 20-2, Council shall adopt regulations with respect to a mail-in system of voting. The City of Mount Pearl Municipal Election Vote by Mail regulations were previously adopted by Council on July the 31st, 2021, and will be adopted for the 2025 municipal election without amendment. Pursuant to Section 4.1 of the City's Rules of Procedure, the Corporate Services and Public Works Committee is bringing forward this motion, this notice of motion to adopt the City of Mount Pearl Municipal Election Vote by Mail regulations. And also move. I move that.
I have a couple of questions for the clerk. Are these regulations already in place, as indicated in the briefing note? If it's a notice of motion, it will be voted on at a later date. So just curious if it's a motion or a notice of motion. And if it's a motion and it's already in place, I guess the question would be why? Sorry to make it so tangly.
These regulations are currently in place. This is a notice of motion, so it will be voted on at the next council meeting. The regulations are on our website. They have been in effect since July 2021. They are being adopted by the current council as there were newly elected council members. These regulations outline the process for vote by mail. So more of the technical details.
But if they're already in place, why would we be voting on them again? So we have development regulations in the planning department, I'll say. We don't bring them in with new councils. So I'm just curious, is there any changes to the regulations?
There isn't. It is a subject of debate among municipalities as to whether they need to be readopted, but the legislation in the Municipal Elections Act state that the regulations will be adopted by the council who vote to approve a hybrid approach.
So the hybrid approach is discretionary.
Correct. That was voted on by this council in May.
But it was already voted on and adopted. So it's already in place, right? The hybrid approach.
Hybrid approach, the regulations are just stating the technical steps in the vote by mail.
So why can't we vote on it tonight?
The City of Mount Pearl Rules of Procedure require a notice of motion to adopt regulations.
Back to you. We're done. Unless anybody, we don't normally debate notices of motion. I was just seeking clarifications.
Okay, so I'll pass the next part of our report over to my colleague, Councillor Lane.
Thank you very much. The next item on our agenda this evening is the Housing Accelerator Fund funding for Masonic Park. The committee is seeking approval for Masonic Park's application for the HAF funding. On May 7th, 2025, Masonic Park applied to participate in the City of Mount Pearl's Housing Accelerator Fund. The proposed project involves the development of 20 new housing units specifically designed to meet the needs of our aging population demographic, for whom access to affordable and appropriate housing remains a growing and urgent concern. The estimated total cost of the development is approximately $4.2 million, with a projected construction timeline of 12 to 18 months. The Corporate Services and Public Works Committee recommends approving Masonic Park's application for HAF funding, which will range from $85,520 to $100,000, depending on the time frame to obtain their occupancy permit. And I so move.
It is moved by Councillor Lane and seconded by Councillor Rice. Any questions, folks? This seems like a nice evolving turn of events. Councillor Rice.
No, just a quick comment. I think this is fantastic to see this type of housing going forward. Masonic, as we all know, Masonic Park is a fairly big area up there right now. But we got to remember a lot of those units up there were built in the 70s. So, you know, regarding, I guess, fire regulations and two ways at the buildings, you know, it's because I know there's some issues up there with the second exit out of the buildings up there. So I'm glad this is moving forward with the 20 new units, and I'm certainly supported 100%.
Thank you. Anybody else? I'm going to call the question. All in favor? Those opposed? Thank you. Carried.
Okay, and the last item on our agenda this evening is the Public Works Status Report. Under Roads Division, work continues on asphalt repairs, sidewalk and street sweeping, maintenance holes and catch basin repairs, lawn repairs, and accessible boardroom at City Hall. Under Parks Division, work continues on landscape prep work, maintenance on sport fields, parks and open space mowing, hanging baskets and planters are being installed. Under Fleet Division, ongoing service and maintenance. UTM Division, general calls, plugged sewers, service locates, new water and sewer service inspections, camera inspections, water and sewer repairs, leak detection, fire hydrant painting, valve exercising, catch basin cleaning, lift station inspections and maintenance. And water levels at Babel's Pig Pond as of June 30th, 2025 are attached. Council, you can see there in your kits. And I can also note that during our meeting yesterday, Director Delamont also noted that our water consumption levels are at an all-time low, which is wonderful news. So keep up the great work, folks. And thank you to our staff for utilizing leak detection to help keep that levels low. Thank you.
All right, moving to the next committee, we have Planning, Engineering, and Development, noting that those two committee members, the Deputy Mayor and Councillor Antle, and I believe Councillor Antle's taking the lead.
Thank you, Your Worship. I take the first three, then I'll pass it on to the Deputy Mayor. Number one, it's regarding your Kenmount Hill development. It's the construction of a new lift station and associated site works and decommissioning of an existing Wyatt Boulevard lift station and contract recommendation. The Planning, Engineering and Development Committee is seeking approval to award the contract for the construction of a new lift station, as well as associated site works and the decommissioning of the existing Wyatt Boulevard lift station. Great news. The City of Mount Pearl issued tender TP 25-014 on May 16, 2025 for the Kenmount Hill project involving the construction of a new lift station and the decommissioning of the existing Wyatt Boulevard lift station. Following a pre-qualification process that concluded on April 30th, 2025, 6 of the 9 components were invited to bid. Of these, four submitted bids by the June 19th deadline. The lowest compliant bid was submitted by Rodco Mechanical at the value of $2,166,903.60, HST included. The Planning, Engineering and Development Committee recommends that the Council approve the award of the contract for the construction of the new lift station, as well as associated site works and the decommissioning of the existing Wyatt Boulevard lift station to Rodco Mechanical in the amount of $2,166,903.60, HST included, and I so move.
Moved by Councillor Antle, and thank you. Seconded by the Deputy Mayor. Any questions, comments? This relates to some of the developments going on over in the Northlands part of the world. I'll call the question. All in favor? And opposed? Motion carried. Thanks.
And the next one is our building permit listing for June 16th to the June 27, 2025. You can see them in the kit there. Building construction and residential, there's a total of $108,600. And for the same time frame for building construction commercial, it's a total of $620,000 for a total of $728,600. And I so the Planning, Engineering, and Development Committee recommends approval of the residential building permits during this period with a total construction value of $108,600 and the commercial building permits with a total construction value of $620,000. The combined total construction value for all building permits submitted for this time frame is $728,600, and I so move.
Moved by Councillor Antle, second by Deputy Mayor. This is a ratification, but there is time for questions if there's any. Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? Contrary-minded? Carried.
And the last one for me, Your Worship, is the development permit listings for June 16th to the June 27, 2025. They're there in your kit, and the Planning, Engineering, and Development Committee recommends the development permit issued for this period be accepted as presented. And I so move.
Moved by Councillor Antle, second by Deputy Mayor Kiley. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you.
And now I'll pass over to the Deputy Mayor, Your Worship.
Thank you, Councillor Antle. And that leaves me with looking at some updates regarding the Capital Works project. That's our next item here on the agenda. And so the following item is brought forward for the information of the public. It's important to know that crack sealing work is complete throughout the city. We know that's a really important aspect of our roads, keeping them safe, keeping them accessible. There's also line painting work that's ongoing throughout the city, and with spring painting expected to be completed by mid-July. As well as asphalt and concrete tender is closed for June 25th, with a contract recommendation forthcoming. So more to come on that. And again, an important aspect of keeping our roads safe and accessible. And that leaves us also with our next item on the agenda, which is another update, our community center update. So that is such an important capital work project. The following item is brought forward for the information of the public. Work on both the building and the splash pad is ongoing. Significant progress has been made with the parking lot preparation. And the parking lot is mostly complete with preparation for the Canada Games. We know that's such an important factor, ensuring that we are a great host and we have plenty of space for people to access and park. With the lot partially open on Monday, July 7th, So that's today, folks. And to alleviate, well, yesterday, I should say, to alleviate traffic congestion. And the asphalt work is complete with the landscaping and line painting remaining as the final task to finish in this area. So progress continues on the steel structure. If you ever have been by or have taken an opportunity to park around the area, you're seeing significant work, and you're certainly seeing the bare bones right now in the structure of the building. So that is our update for now. More to come, of course. And that leaves us with our final item prepared, which is the occupancy permit listing for June 16th to June 27th, 2025. So this is again another just FYI. The following item is brought forward for the information of the public. And as you see, councillors, in your kit, you can see part 3 of the occupancy permit issued for that time period, along with the items and information. And that is with that in our kits and presented. That's the end for me, and I pass it along back to your worship.
Thank you so much. We're going to finish the last committee report, Recreation Community Safety. Councillor Locke.
Thank you, Mayor. We have one item tonight. This item has to do with the Association for the Arts in Mount Pearl and their operating subsidy for 2025. Our committee is seeking approval of council to release this operating fund in the amount of $10,000. Mayor, these funds were approved by council during our 2025 budget under the Recreation and Community Safety Department. And as is currently outlined in the current Memorandum of Understanding between AMP and the city, program and financial reports are required annually prior to the release of any annual operating grant. And AMP has submitted its 2024 program and financial reports in accordance with this requirement. Reports were reviewed and found to be in good standing and aligned with the program's stated objectives and outcomes for the year. And the timely release of the 2025 operating funds is essential to ensure AMP can continue delivering programs and services in support of its annual initiatives. And as such, our committee is recommending approval of the 2024 program financial reports submitted by AMP, and that council authorize the release of AMP's 2025 operating funds in the amount of $10,000. And again, this is in accordance with the terms outlined in the current Memorandum of Understanding, and I so move.
It is moved by Councillor Locke and seconded by Councillor Fry. Any comments? Oh, no? Any comments? Hearing none, I'm going to...
No, I thought Councillor Fry was going to comment. I think this is a fabulous news. $10,000 for AMP. They do so much good work in the city, and $10,000 for a small budget for them. $10,000 goes a long, long way. I mean, we see the work they do in the summer. I mean, they're out here sometimes doing some recitals and that kind of stuff, and they're up to the Admiralty House doing lots of work. And so for $10,000 is well done on us to do that for instance, the city of Mount Pearl. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Anybody else? Hearing none? Deputy Mayor, you're good. Okay, I'll call the question. All in favor? Contrary-minded? And that's carried. Thank you. And I believe that's the end of committee report. Thank you. Good work done by everybody, including our staff the last 2 weeks. We're going to have a little round table now, and I'm going to start, I believe, Councillor Fry, you're up.
Thank you, Your Worship. Just a couple of items for me this evening. Just to remind residents, since we've had the issues back last November with the violent incidents that we had, we've been doing a lot of work regarding making the community feel safe and making the community safe. And our community safety committee is to the point, we've reached the point, we've fleshed out a lot of things, and we're at the point where we really need community feedback. So we want residents and businesses to respond. We've had the survey out now, and we're really excited that we've already received 246 online submissions, which is wonderful. And thank you to everybody who has submitted. And that's not even counting the paper copies. There's still time to get involved. The current deadline is July the 16th. So hopefully people will keep the submissions coming. They can be submitted at heymountpearl.ca/safety plan, or you could get a paper copy by visiting the Reed Center, City Hall, or Park Place, or by emailing mysafecity@mountpearl.ca to request one. So hopefully we'll get more of those. We're really pleased to have that many so far. So it's really nice to see people getting behind that and the engagement that we're receiving. Okay, also for me, I wanted to send a thank you and to our Public Works crew because, well, I can speak about Smallwood Drive because that's my neighborhood. But I was driving up Smallwood Drive the other day and I noticed how well manicured it was and how neatly it was mowed. And something that goes a long way. And then I started taking note of it in other places and the hanging baskets or the not the hanging baskets, the baskets that are put out. And I think it looks lovely. So I just wanted to say thank you, Glenn. If you could pass that along, because it's obvious that there's care put into this, and the beds, the flower beds and things are very well manicured, and it's really noticeable. So if you can pass that along, thank you. And finally, for me, I also want to remind residents to nominate somebody for our Best in Mount Pearl Awards. The deadline for that is tomorrow, so we're looking for nominations for the Citizen of the Year, the Community Group of the Year, Impact in Music, Arts and Culture, Environment Award, Lifetime Achievement, Urban Agriculture, and Urban Architect Design. So please visit our website and take the time to nominate somebody because it can go a long way, and there are a lot of deserving people out there. And that's it for me, Your Worship. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, our community is very well-rounded and has lots of deserving people. Just matter of taking that few minutes to put a name forward, hey? Yeah. Over to you, Councillor Locke. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a couple, but just further to Councillor Fry's point on our community safety and well-being plan, it's encouraging to see such input. And as we said, we want the more feedback we get, the better the plan we're going to have. So 246 to date, not counting any paper submissions, is encouraging. So I'm delighted to see that as well. Just to two others. The first is a reminder that City Days, I think, Mayor, you referenced it already, July 17th to the 20th. A lot of events, something for everyone. It's all on our city's website, so I encourage people to check us out and again, come out and have some fun with all the activities. The last one for me, I just want to acknowledge and thank our staff for the Canada Day celebrations. I was really impressed with the turnout this year. I went from, I think, from 1 to 4, and usually it takes a while for the crowds to peter in, but at 1 o'clock there was quite a few people there, and I received a lot of feedback on our multicultural component this year with the musical and cultural dances and stuff like that. It was very well done, so kudos to our events coordinators that took the lead on that, pulled it all together. It was a great day and a great turnout. Thank you, Mayor.
Indeed it was, and hosted by Emily and Fallon too, our Youth of the Year, right? So that was a little bit of icing, if I could say that, icing on the cake and it all, right? And just a little note, if I don't mind adding to what you said about City Days, the City Days 2.0 happens in the middle of August. So there's no major concert in the July iteration of this year's City Days. But then stay tuned around the middle of August, the halfway point of the Canada Games. Ed Moyes Field will be rocking that night.
I think it's a great idea because we're having the 2.0 City Days in conjunction with the Canada Games. So we'll have some of the 20,000 visitors that they're expecting to come into the region will certainly come in and get a flavor of just how beautiful the city of Mount Pearl is. So looking forward to that as well, Mayor. Thank you.
Do you think we can show them a good time?
Absolutely.
Thank you, sir. Over to you, Deputy Mayor Kiley.
Thank you, Your Worship. I just have one for today, and to everybody's note of there's been some incredible events that are happening throughout the summer. It hasn't stopped for our team here, and I know within City Days we're also going to be celebrating some Pride activities, which of course this month is Pride Month, and there's going to be so much more. I'm sure we can be talking about that. And one of the items I did want to talk about was another actual observance that's happening in July. And I'll be perfectly honest, I didn't really know about it myself until I became aware of it just through social media and some of the platforms that I'm on, which is today, this month is Disability Pride Month. And, you know, I wanted to just take a moment to celebrate and reflect and to advocate just how important this month is. As somebody living with a dynamic disability, as an above knee amputee, and someone with both seen and unseen disabilities, I carry with me my experiences every day. And interestingly, I'm going to say not as a burden, but as a part of my identity and as part of my pride. But this really came from a place of a personal one. And I know that the month is really about the awareness and honoring the strength and dignity and diversity, but it's also rejecting that type of shame and embracing identity and making space for truth around that. Disability, people with disabilities are leaders. We're artists, we're workers, we're caregivers, community builders, and we are powerful people. And for me, it didn't come easily. After an accident that had rendered me with a disability, a new one, I grieved not only just for what happened to me, but a version of myself that I thought the world would no longer accept. But over some time and through some work of kindness and persistence, I began to rebuild my relationship with my body and with my voice. So, in terms of wondering what this month means, it really is reflected in my own personal experience. But I know that I'm not alone in that. And that pride is important antidote for ways in which society tries to hide things. And so having a dynamic disability means that my ability shift from days where I walk in confidence, others I need to rest. Sometimes I need to be supported with a wheelchair, or sometimes it's a cane. So it's not a weakness for me, it's a reality. And I think we need systems that recognize and respect this fluidity and not to punish it. So for me, as a counselor, I carry those truths into every decision I make. And disability inclusion really can no longer be in a larger sense. And I think a lot of advocates talk about it's not just a checkbox, but it must be designed into our streets, into our policies, into our consultations, our playgrounds, our transit systems, and our hiring practices. And it's not just about ramps, it's about a voice, it's about dignity and opportunity and representation. So really, I think this month, as somebody who's new to understanding this myself and understanding pride as not just a personal experience, but as advocacy, it reminds us that it is a political act and it's about demanding access, reclaiming and claiming joy. And I stand here not just with myself, but allies around the table, but as someone who understands firsthand that disability is not limitations to our potential. It's just a different way of navigating the world. And we have every reason to be proud. And I want to thank you and anyone out there listening. Know that you are not alone and there's so much to be celebrated and there's nothing in this world that will ever limit you. And I'm just so happy to be here and as part of that community and acknowledging that this month. So thank you.
No, thank you. Very enthralling and very well said. Over to you, Councillor Antle.
Your worship, I only got 7 or 8 to talk about, but anyhow, that's okay. I only got a couple to talk about. Really, it's all about it's all about our safety. We just talked about safety in the city of Mount Pearl. Councillor Fry talked about, and Councillor Locke talked about our safety program and getting people to fill out that. In the past couple of months, we've been working on it here in the city, and there's our trailway here in the city. right, the Trailway Market. I invite you to come down. The Trailway here in Mount Pearl, from the beginning at St. John's all the way to Paradise, it's now lit. At 10 o'clock every night, it's around dark, our lights come on. It's something to see. It's a beautiful thing to look at. I invite all the residents to drop down any night around 10 o'clock. I'll walk down there. I think we should all councillors should go down some night and take a walk from 10 o'clock. It's a beautiful trail. Our trail's well lit up. It's so safe now, and it's like walking in the daytime. It's a beautiful, beautiful trail. I talked to residents in other municipalities, and they're a little envious of us right now because we have our trails lit up, and they all want to get that done. And keeping in light with the trail, you might see on our Facebook page, we're going to do a new crosswalk on Commonwealth Avenue to make that trail even more safe. So when you're in the next couple of weeks, we've got lights ordered, and the trailway there will be an island in the middle, and you'll be able to walk the trail from St. John's to Paradise on a well-lit trail in the nighttime, and safety is paramount. And I think we all, congratulations to this city council that did this. It's a job well done, and thank you very much. And that's everything from me, Your Worship.
A little bit of good news goes a long way. I want to hear Katrina and the Waves, Walking on Sunshine. Councillor Rice.
Thank you, Your Worship. So I guess that was an invitation from Councillor Randall for us to meet down there for a walk around, was it, Bill? Yeah, I think so. I got three actually really important ones to me anyway. I just wanted, the first one I want to talk about actually is our yard waste bags. That we did delivery actually of the yard waste bags back 5-6 weeks ago. And our community groups delivered those bags they delivered two bags to each household in the city. I thought it was, we approved it through council. We all thought this was a phenomenal idea. So we had quite a bit of discussion actually at our committee level yesterday, and because we asked several questions on how it was working. And I was really impressed actually that we have 89 tons of picked up in those bags. So those bags are, which is phenomenal. So that's a big number, and as we drive the streets, we can certainly see that people are starting to use them. And I'm really glad that the Public Works Department has gone to another level by not picking up bags, clear bags that actually are on the sidewalks down the street. We'll label them, and we're pushing it back on the residents to put it in those bags. And I certainly support that 100%. Because it is a clear direction of where we're going in the city regarding of our grass clippings. I'll just read out a couple of things there. Actually, is basically only the organic yard waste like grass clippings, leaves, small twigs and stuff like that can go in those bags. So it's not for garbage, it's not for plastic or non-organic materials are not to be put in those bags. And for 89 tons, I mean, that's a phenomenal feat in such a short period. So kudos to the city and the Public Works Department for doing that. The next one I want to talk about actually is our Bay Bulls Big Pond. So Bay Bulls Big Pond, our water levels for this year is come down significantly. Just got to type in the number here again now, a second. Yeah, so from 2025 to now, it's gone down, it's down 5 feet. So 5 feet of water in Bay Bulls Big Pond is a quite amount of water. You can certainly see the shoreline now on the Bay Bulls Big Pond. So just be mindful of the water usage in the city. And, you know, if you're going to be watering your lawn, do it early in the morning or late in the afternoon. But just be mindful of our water usage. And I have one other one left to comment on. And I got to get in here actually on my computer again because I just had it brought up here. And this one is actually so I'm pleased to announce that the City of Mount Pearl has issued a call for Indigenous artists to design a permanent public mural on the stage of the Centennial Park, one of our most central and visible community spaces right next to City Hall here. This initiative is part of our commitment to truth and reconciliation and reflects our intent to create a more inclusive public spaces that recognize and celebrate Indigenous culture and presence, especially the vibrant urban Indigenous community here in Mount Pearl. So artists with a connection to our Indigenous communities in Newfoundland and Labrador are encouraged to apply. Full details are available at mountpearl.ca/indigenous-art. And the deadline for the submissions for this is August the 8th. So it's on our city website. So that's it for me, Your Worship. Thank you.
Oh, great stuff. And I just wanted to, there's no water ban in place, but there is a water conservation order in place. People can water their lawns twice a week. It's either a Wednesday, Saturday, or a Wednesday, Sunday routine. I believe it's early in the morning and late at night, but top of mind, you know, that we're doing our share here in the city of Mount Pearl with leak detection and consumption. I can tell by all the brown lawns that are around, you know, people are holding back on watering their lawns, but I hope other municipalities are doing the same thing to match what we're doing to ensure that we manage Babel's Big Pond in a very responsible way. Thank you. Over to you, Councillor Lane.
Yep, just one item for me this evening. I just wanted to discuss graffiti. Because it seems more and more it's popping up. I guess it's the time of year, the weather's nice, and that's when people who do graffiti decide it's the perfect opportunity to do so. We take a lot of pride in our beautiful parks, our benches, and our trailways here in Mount Pearl. And it's really disheartening when we get more and more messages of graffiti with, you know, slanderous words all over the city. It was just a couple days ago, I had the 3 kids at the playground there on Pine Bud. And Max was playing on the slide and he came over and his hands were all white. I said, my gosh, like, what do you get into? Somebody spray painted the whole slide white and then the rest of the equipment wrote slanderous words all over it. And that's just one example that we've heard in the last couple of weeks. And luckily I was able to message Director Delamont and the team got that cleaned up really quick. But it's really disheartening that we have to do this over and over and over again. So guys, if you're the one who's doing graffiti, please cut it out and take some pride in where you live and have some respect for the people who are utilizing all of our facilities and our equipment. And please have conversations with young ones in your home about graffiti and that it causes a lot of issues. Not only is it inappropriate a lot of times, the messages that are put across, but also it takes away from people's enjoyment in the city. And I know that it's not just a Mount Pearl issue, but we certainly have it here. And given the current weather, it's happening more and more. So please keep that in mind, folks, because we take a lot of pride in our city, and let's continue to make sure that everyone is able to enjoy it this summer. And if anybody sees graffiti, please feel free to let our staff know, and they'll ensure that they get that cleaned up in a timely manner. And that's it for me this evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Council. We're getting near the end of the meeting. I just wanted to make a warm comment related to the raising of the pride flag yesterday. Well attended, great turnout by staff. I think the Pearl was there as well. I can't remember that one. He'll be there next year, I'm pretty sure, you know, right? Yeah. But, you know, it was really nice to celebrate Pride by symbolically, at least, you know, raising the flag here in the city. And I think it's important to the 2SL LGBTQIA plus group and residents here in the city, because we want to make sure that we put inclusivity and accessibility first and foremost. I think the Deputy Mayor spoke about that a little earlier. And really, we stand up to violence and discrimination at all levels, whether it's, and I said this the other day, whether it's in the workplace or just, you know, in our community. But further to that, we're going to be entering the St. John's Pride Parade now in a couple of weeks. I believe it's going to be on the 20th of July. You'll see some city trucks involved. I think some of the drivers are in this room. So good on you for supporting that event as well. I think that's important to the greater Pride community here in the region. Landwash Brewery is hosting Traders Drag Edition in partnership with Dream House Productions. Dream House is H-A-U-S-E, and that will be on Saturday, July 19th. I think the time is late in the evening. It's 7:30 to 9:30, I believe. And Pride in the Pearl, I think Councillor Locke or somebody referred to some of the City Days events. Saturday the 19th from noon until 3 p.m. here at St. David's Park, right? So I think we're very, very engaged with our Pride community, but I'd like to encourage all of our residents to turn out. The event on the 19th, Saturday, at St. David's is meant to be family friendly and fun for everybody to come out. So we encourage everybody we can to come out and enjoy City Days and enjoy a nice friendly Pride event at the same time. So with that in mind, as we get to the end of our meeting, I'm going to call for a motion to adjourn, and we are motioning from Councillor Fry and second by Councillor Lane. Adjourned.